Hello, welcome back to Blender Sushi Live Learning. In this episode, I'm gonna try to answer one of these questions at Blender Stack Exchange. It's basically a script questions. It's asking Sanjeev asked if I want to query grease pencil data from using my Python script, how to get their points coordinates and maybe the strokes, maybe the stroke pressure stuff. And there's actually this answer by Codeman X, and it's stating something about points and coordinates and pressure and then whether it's selected or not. This thing, the one you actually want, if you are using Sverchok nodes to do this, it actually become very easy. If you start to see data as a blocks and then you kind of look at it in terms of the attributes and the parameters, you can get to the strokes and to the points, coordinate, and pressure quite easily. I'll show you real quick. So basically, if you have like an empty scene and you want to draw grease pencil, you either hold D and then you start drawing with your mouse or your Wacom tablet. You already know that, and you can draw it in different frames. That's kind of cool. I really like grease pencil. That's why I like doing live noding using grease pencil. So that's one way you do it. You can also use draw. Whenever that's for a single drawing. If you want to have like additive drawing, you can turn that on and kind of, I think, continue drawing while scrubbing the frame. So it's kind of build up. You can also use continuous drawing. So you kind of drawing and it doesn't stop until you hit escape. But we're not gonna worry about all those. I'm gonna delete the grease pencil and I'm just gonna use the hold D and then start painting or start drawing using grease pencil. What I'm interested here, I'm using mouse at the moment. I don't have the Wacom stylus at the moment, but you have this drawing brushes. By default, it's like the basic, but you have this thing like pencil, a little bit thicker actually, and ink noise. I like the ink noise actually. For now, this is giving you like a random noise kind of thing, and you can further add randomness to these strokes by simply turning on the jitter. So it's kind of, now your strokes becoming kind of jittery, kind of like a shaky hands drawing. But that's really cool because it's really more expressive, and I like that Blender actually have this built in. So really nice. I really like it. I'm gonna delete all this and I'm gonna draw a couple of strokes, you know, just for fun. And we're gonna turn this into a curve using Sverchok. So this is another Sverchok grease pencil remeshing, but I'm gonna take the pressure data as well into Sverchok. So instead of like a curve that with the same radius, we're gonna have all these nice kind of variations along the mesh. Okay. By the way, just in case you don't know, you can convert this grease pencil into real objects by simply hitting here and select one of these. Say if I'm selecting polygon curve, for example, I get this, and then I can actually turn off the link strokes or have it on. You will learn this eventually if you dig down for information about this, and you can kind of extrude it and add depth. It still respect this connection between the curve, and you do get the weighting, and it's really nice. And you can actually, if you want, you can animate this just like that. It's very simple, but very powerful as well. You know, it's really nice. But if you want to do it live, you know, like if you want to like make a couple of strokes, you know, different frame, you don't want to always having to do this all the time. It's a pain. You want it to be more streamlined. So that's why I like using Sverchok, because it's like live all the time. You can, so if I use Sverchok and use the, I already show you how to do this, Object ID selector, and select grease pencil data, right away you can have access to the active frame of this grease pencil. And if I just use a viewer draw, I can get the points, you know. I can also use the UV connection, and this data, edges data, we can have it like just like a polygon edges, and you can do a lot more from here. Just continue on building the node. I like the simple method, which is the Polyline Viewer, which will give you basically will give you the curve output. If we just plug this guy into the vertices, you see if I increase the radius, you get this kind of like a pipe. Currently it doesn't use the stroke radius at the moment. So in order to use the radius, currently we don't have like an output here. So how do we go about doing this? One thing you need to understand is that this object ID is actually kind of a clever node. This object ID can grab any kind of data blocks in Blender, literally any kind of data. But for Grease Pencil, the developer kind of make it easy for us, so we can simply pick active frame and get the coordinates. But normally, if you want to do it without the pass points, you need to use something called object ID set. And because what happened is, if we look at it using the stethoscope here, see this is the object data. By if we turn on pass points, it's gonna kind of wrap the points and kind of separating the curve points for you already. But if we want to get the strokes value, we want to turn off pass points and plug in the data here. And here we're gonna do something like this. We want to access the coordinate and pressure of the point. So we just type in point here with this kind of Python thing with this what do you call it, symbol. That means we want to get all the points, and then here we want to get to the coordinates. You can do it this way to access the coordinates, more or less. No, it's not giving me. It's kind of complaining. Maybe I have to type in points with S. Okay. Now out values goes into this guy, and we should get the coordinates. And we indeed we get the coordinates as a vector. But what we want here is the pressure. So pressure give you this list nicely set for us already. So we simply pipe this into the radius, and there we go. That we get the pressure kind of being piped down. There's a global control here for the Grease Pencil, and we can also turn it into B-spline if you like. You have this option to have multiple or single. It's totally up to you. Keeping like a single also works. If it's a single, if you have multiple stroke like this, if it's a single value, you can animate it as a single object. Or actually, in this case, it's like animating it that way. If you make it like a multiple, you can select one and then animate it one by one. So it's kind of no problem. It's actually better that way. You have control over each one of them. So yeah, so that's a quick look how you can use Sverchok to simply turn like a Grease Pencil strokes into a real mesh, just like instantly like that. There is this one frame delay thing. Like if you jump to it, it doesn't update it right away. This is something that's hopefully be fixed maybe when Grease Pencils become an object mode, or I don't know. There must be a way to force update this on a frame update somehow. Like maybe it's just the way Blender works. Sverchok doesn't update the data somehow. We are getting this red value. I don't know why. Interesting. But anyway, it's still working, so no problem. So this is grease pencil remesh using Sverchok. So it's fairly basic, really, but it's powerful because doing it this way, you don't need to always bake the curve. You can always make changes, and it will update for you. So it's really nice, and it understands the pressure now. If you are using Wacom stylus, whatever stylus you use, this thing will understand it. So there you go. That's pretty much it for this live noding. It's very basic, but it's very useful and powerful, especially if you use grease pencil and kind of likes doodling in 3D. This will help you turn your grease pencil stroke into mesh that you can render very easily. So yeah, let me know if you have any question. I'll give you this node setup. You can just use it. And yeah, hopefully this is useful. And let me know what you think. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks again for tuning in.